Hello, in the next couple of minutes, I'll be reflecting on the two-day project which I'm doing for Media and Cultural Studies assignment 4. During the first day, which was the day of Media Fast, I wasn't able to use any kind of media. So no phones, no laptops, no books, notebooks, or any kind of news. Since I'm really affected by media and media is really present in my life, I'm using it for both education and entertainment. I needed to prepare myself for the day of media fast. I decided to do this project on Sunday because I thought it's going to be easier since I don't have any lectures or classes. So on Saturday night, I switched off my laptop and my phone so that on Sunday I wouldn't be tempted to use it. The only thing I was being worried about was that I couldn't my alarm that I would usually set on to wake me up. I couldn't use that on Sunday, so I decided to sleep longer. But I was really surprised that on Sunday I actually woke up even before I was supposed to. And after waking up, I would usually play some songs and check some updates on Facebook page. But that day, the media fast, I was not being able to do that. So I felt really my room was really quiet, and I don't like silence. So I decided that maybe I'm not allowed to use any media, but that doesn't mean that I'm supposed to be in silence. So I decided to make some noise by myself. Yeah, while I was showering, I was singing, but then very soon I ended it because I noticed that I'm a really bad singer, and I didn't want my flatmates to think that I'm some kind of a weirdo. So I stopped doing it. The next hard thing that I was facing with was the fact that I'm meeting my friends before breakfast almost every single day, but on Sunday I didn't know the exact timing of our meeting. So, and since I couldn't text them, I couldn't just text them easily and say my time. I needed to go all the way to her place just to check if we are just to check the time of our meeting. So, while I was walking with my friend to the place where we eat breakfast, I noticed that media is all around us. It is really hard to escape it or not notice it because even buses that were passing by me were advertising new movies, and walls on the buildings were filled with posters which all share the same purpose. They all want to just let us know that about the newest events that's gonna happen that week. At the place where we eat, it was really hard not to be part of media because uh, there was TV, there were news on TV, there was music on the radio, and I couldn't do anything about it. My friends were all using their phones and they were checking their Facebook pages, they were showing pictures to each other. But since I was really determined not to use any kind of media that day, I decided to just avoid it. Later that day, I'm usually going to the gym on Sundays, but that day I decided not to because even at the gym, there is music and there's TV on the treadmill with lots of channels, and I couldn't have any media in my life that day. But still, I decided to follow my daily routine. So instead of going to the gym, I went for jogging, and I actually felt really good because after a long time, I was running not in the same place, but I was actually running in the nature, and I stopped paying attention to the buses that were advertising movies, and instead I was just being overwhelmed with the nature, and I saw a couple of rabbits which I felt really nice and to see, and I also discovered some new places that I didn't know about that before, such as the Lake Carter, which is near the sports center. while running and enjoying in nature, I was really happy because I felt some kind of a free, like I felt like nobody can reach me, and I really liked it. Unfortunately, very soon I needed to go back to my flat and have again dinner with my friends. Again, at the same place, music on the radio was still going on, and there were still news on the TV. But I was really happy for not having media that day, so I was not looking at it at all. Later that day, I didn't want to study. I couldn't use any books, so I didn't want to study. I just decided to rest that day. But I had one problem. I'm usually Skyping with my friends from Serbia, and that day I couldn't see them on Skype, or I couldn't see them or talk to them, and I was really sad because of that. However, I didn't want to just be alone in my room. I called my friends and I talked to them, and I was really happy that we could use actually that time to catch up. We didn't have to be on Facebook or talk on Skype. Instead, we could actually just talk face to face. Later in the evening, there was another problem that I got hungry, and I don't know to cook. But usually, I just look for some recipes online, and then that's how I get some kind of idea what am I supposed to do, what I'm supposed to do in the kitchen. However, that day I couldn't use. I couldn't find any recipes, and I couldn't even order some deliveries because I was not being able to use my phone. So I just decided to go to bed earlier and sleep. Yeah. The next day, I was able to use media. I was able to use a laptop and my phone, and I was really happy about it. But um, yeah, so my next day, the day of media immersion, was pretty much normal. I woke up by my alarm and started listening to music. And I first what I did is that I checked my phone calls and messages and that I received both on phone and Facebook and Skype. And I saw I really found it funny that lots of my friends were actually. Being worried about me because I was not answering their phone calls. So on their phone calls. So that day, I followed my daily routine. I had breakfast, and while having breakfast with my friend, I caught myself doing several things in one moment. I was actually both looking at news, listening to music, eating, being on Facebook, and talking to my friends. So I actually feel that I actually don't think that we can do several things in the same time because we cannot pay because we are not fully concentrated on one single thing, which means that if we do a lot of stuff in one moment, we are actually not doing a single thing because we cannot focus. And I tried to avoid doing it, but all my friends were doing it, so I just I didn't want to um, I didn't want to I just did it. So later that day, I had two lectures, and I went to the first one. Yeah, both first and second one. Teachers, actually lecturers, they were using PowerPoint slides just to help us with our notes with making our notes. And as an examples of the topics that we were discussing, they found those examples on YouTube, which means that media that even they are using media as education. When I finished with my lectures, I was in the library studying, but then while studying, I was also on Facebook, and my friends were at the same time texting me, so it was really hard for me to focus on the single thing. So I just decided to stop studying because I couldn't fully concentrate. Later that day, I again had dinner with my friends, and uh, while having dinner, we were taking pictures and showing each other some newest pictures on Instagram. And we also downloaded the newest application which actually uses our own photos from our own albums in the phone, and is comparing our photos to the photos of celebrities, giving us some results, like some celebrities that we actually resemble. And that was really funny. That was actually really funny because sometimes we would actually really look like some celebrities, while other times we would have no similarities at all. In the evening, I Skyped with my friends in Serbia, and we talked, and I was really happy because media is also helping me to stay in touch with my friends. Like, even though we are not being able to be physically close, we are close because I know that I'm not missing out anything from their lives. And um and uh, later, when I finished with Skyping, I was just chilling with my friends. We were listening to music and having fun using media. So what I've learned from this project is that yes, media is really present in my life, and I am using it for both education and entertainment. And without media, my life would really be different. But that doesn't mean that it is not possible to not to have media in your life. It is. It would be just harder because media is saving our time and saving our money. it just I just believe that we should just use it carefully, because if we overuse it, we can be addicted to it, and then media would present really big part of our lives, which I believe is not good and is not healthy. So it's all about knowing how to use media properly.